Greetings and welcome to Unveiling Reality. How's everybody doing this evening? I hope you're all doing and living well. And remember, living well is the best revenge. All right. Say hello to all my peoples out there. How y'all doing? I went ahead and posted the full stream links early tonight because we are going to be jumping here in a little bit. But first, let's thank those YouTube members, recurring memberships that help the channel out so much. Thank you guys for being recurring members of the Winner's Circle. All right. How's it going, Wolfram? Thank you for dropping these links. He wipes his paws. He lives in house and he's here. And so Shelly, she's saying hello. Everybody on X, on Rumble, and here on YouTube. Now tonight, this is the kickoff show for Unveiling Reality. We are going to have to leave YouTube at some point because of the content we'll be reviewing later. The Boys is very highly copyrighted, and it's also TVMA, so it's got some stuff to it. We won't be watching any of the gore and any of the other degeneracy in that show, but we are going to be watching some of the messaging they're putting out. And it's just a small sample of what, how people are being portrayed, how the establishment manages the perception of its dissenters, right? That's you and me and all the rest of us, right? And how they put us into this box, and that's how they build an archetype of who we are. But we're going to get into that later on in the show when we go over to Rumble and Xnod. The links are pinned in the description and in the comments here in the live chat. You guys are gonna really like this. This is gonna be a real exercise in media analysis, and we're gonna take it frame by frame to see how they do this. Right? This is a conglomerate of basically all the things I've been talking about since I started Unveiling Reality, and how mind control works, on how archetype building works in that process, and we're gonna see exactly how a lot of things that we talk about on the channel come together in this exercise tonight. So you guys are going to really enjoy this. If you're not already on Rumble or X, why not? Why aren't you there yet? You need to be there, because YouTube is going to always going to toe the establishment line, at least for the foreseeable future. And what I want to start the kickoff show off tonight. Now we're doing the kickoff show here on YouTube too. And so that we gather people to come on with us over to Rumble Next later on. But so I also like to put out a little bit of content here in the kickoff show to help keep my presence on YouTube going. YouTube is draining my subs off like you wouldn't believe right now. Yeah, we dip below 4,600, which sucks because it's hard to get above 4,600, and then we were all to 4611, I think it was our top number, and then they just started draining the subs off again. So we're going through a massive drainage right now. Check to make sure that you're subscribed. Check to make sure that you ring the bell to get the notifications, and of course, make sure that you're on alternative platforms so that when they really do hammer us down on this platform, if they do, when they do, that you are prepared. You are prepared. And before we even get started here into any of the content, let me thank someone for this. Oh my! All right, Shelly's $5 super chat for Wolfram's benefit. Bouncy, bouncy, bouncy. Yes, that's his favorite. And here we go. Thank you for the $5 super chat, Shelly. It really does help out a lot. All super chats do, all support for the channel does really help out a lot. I really do appreciate it. And we're going to keep fighting this fight, because I think by the end of the show tonight, you're going to realize we need a new place. You know, we need a new place that's somewhere in the middle, between outside of the establishment and not off the deep end. And that's what I'm trying to build here. I'm realizing it day by day, show by show. The further we go along, that's what this is becoming. So, and should the show last on YouTube, should it not have to change into some kind of entertainment, kind of like controversial channel, and then keeping Rumble and X for those important topics. I don't know. We're going to see how this all turns out. But right now, what I want to do is bring your attention to what's been going around lately about the debates, right? We're going to talk about the debates. Of course, I'm covering the debates, the debate tomorrow night here on the channel. I'll be kicking it off on YouTube and perhaps staying on YouTube. Now, people are going to be like, what are you doing? Right. Well, what I want to point out is what's been missed in this whole narrative about the CNN debate censorship that is supposedly is going to happen. Right. They're going to be striking channels. They're going to be doing this and that. Well, the most they can do is give you a, kind of like do that stream, that thing where they take the stream down, like while you're showing it. But is that really going to happen? Like, okay, so it's like this. Last night, Joe Neerman, Good Logic, turned 54, I believe. And he had a bunch of distinguished creators on, most of them lawyers with big channels, and Valhalla. And Valhalla, who did a good job hanging with the distinguished gentlemen and ladies of the law community. But they took a bite out of this video. Now, I'm pretty sure I reviewed this, but at least mentioned it, talked about it. But I'd like to go a little bit deeper into it. Now, what they didn't do is they showed the upfront part of it, right? Which was the description of how the CNN asked Tim Pool to reach out and YouTube asked Tim Pool to reach out to CNN, which is a weird thing in general, right? Like, why would you pick Tim Pool to do this? And like, that's just crazy. He doesn't work for YouTube, so why would he do that? I don't know. Maybe he does. I have no idea. Doesn't seem like it to me. But yeah. So in this, they talked about how they were going to not allow people to stream the debate, and that was exclusively CNN. Now, they showed that clip right on the show, and they all commented on it, and they all had their hot takes on it, right? No hot takes. They had their immediate reactions to it without any context, I guess, but not surprisingly, we live in a world of censorship and weirdness, which we'll get into when we talk about the SCOTUS decision next. But what they didn't do, hey, 357, how you doing? Yeah, actually, I'm talking about that right now for 357. I'm definitely showing it. And this is going to be, and you guys can help me decide, right? If you want to have some input on this, because I'm getting ready to show you the part of the video that they didn't show. That I guess people they just skip past it. I don't know. I watched the entire video, and if you watch the entire video, this is the video I'm talking about right here. Elon Musk tells CNN to shove it after network claims it will block presidential debate. Claims it will block presidential debate. I'm surprised he doesn't redo some of his titles. I don't know. Maybe he does this on purpose. I have no idea. Like I said, I'm not really good at the grifting game in terms of trying to grift people with clickbaity titles and swerves and things like that, right? And I don't think that we on our side should be doing that. So that's why I don't participate in doing that. I try to be as straightforward as I possibly can. Maybe a little bit of catchiness in it, but not too much, right? I want to be not what they are, and that's what they are. They're establishment media is all about forget the first story out. First one to get the story out. They're all about clicks and views and viewership. And they're all about misleading headlines and narratives. So we don't need to repeat that, because that's just the pendulum swinging too far to the other side, right? And then it'll just eventually swing back to the other side because it's swinging too far to the other side. I'll get into the pendulum theory later on about how balance works in this world and why we should be trying to get a very slow motion right in the middle. That's like really what we want to do, because we cannot eliminate We cannot eliminate all evil in this world. We can't not eliminate all those who will try to do evil and try to subvert and try to control and try to be dominant. But we can only hope to contain it and hope that morality and goodness and light and truth is heavier, or at least even with, right? Right now, it's very lopsided. The pendulum is all the way over on the left side, and we're in a very degenerate state in this country right now, and in society in general, very damaged, broken type of humanity that we have to repair in order to get back on track. Can we do it before our utter collapse have to happen first? We'll decide that as we go. But what I want to point out about this is that if you watch the video to the end, and we're going to watch this part, you'll see Tim walk it back, right? And maybe decide that he was wrong by the end of the video. And this is what you didn't see on the other channels that have been covering it. All you're getting is the catchiness of the upfront stuff. And maybe there's some truth to it. Maybe that is the only thing we need to know. Maybe that's the only thing they needed to know. I don't think so. I think there's something here at the end we need to analyze. So that's what we're going to do here on the kickoff show. We're going to do this. Then we're going to talk about the SCOTUS decision. And then we're going to jump to Rumble and X, as it says in the banner below, for an exclusive media analysis session on season 4, episode 2 of The Boys. And if you don't watch The Boys, it's a gritty superhero spin type show, but it's done in a max adult way, and it's and it's gritty. It's like the superheroes are just products, right? So I'll explain more to you about The Boys when we go to do that. But it's an interesting show. Shelly and I watched. We've binge watched it. Now we're caught up to the 4th season, and we watch it for entertainment, of course. And I have fun. We both have fun pointing out the blatant plants of social engineering that are in there, and we ask ourselves, is it intentional, or is it joking on the social engineering? That's the real thing that I'm looking at now. I mean, I think it's pretty much, it's kind of a woke show, right? And so I think they really are pressing out it, but they go so far, they get so extreme with it that it seems like it's almost like they're making fun of it. So either way, it doesn't matter. They've given us a great hey, Jacob Peets, what's up, buddy? They've given us a great opportunity tonight to see exactly how they program the minds of those unsuspecting people in the first veil, and how they view us, how they view people that are dissent against the establishment, that are outside of the establishment narrative, right? And why this works, and why the more that we act like them, the worse it gets for us. Like I said, we got a big show tonight. There's a lot of topics. They're all going to fit together there. I promise you that. So let's get started with this. The first thing is this. I'm going to play it, and then I'll show you why I think this is important in terms of whether or not we can actually broadcast the debate on YouTube or not.
The post-millennial goes on to say, Poole also had a phone call with CNN arranged by YouTube. No. I didn't have a phone call with CNN. I had a phone call with YouTube.
Okay.
He said that he received a message from YouTube last night asking to hop on a phone call to discuss the RNC. This was a YouTube spokesperson who said...
Okay, so I had that part wrong. There you go.
CNN had reached out to them. Now, here's the important thing.
I remembered it wrong.
This was confirmed by post-millennial reporter Sarah Higdon, who will be attending the debate in Atlanta, and received an email from CNN prior to the debate concerning digital use, reading, CNN's debates are exclusive to CNN and may not be streamed or streamed with verbal or digital commentary on any platform or social media site by another party, other than the embeddable YouTube player via the CNN YouTube channel.
Did you guys hear that? Did you guys hear that last part? Let me rewind it. 5 seconds.
Then the embeddable YouTube player via the CNN YouTube channel.
Did you hear that?
Really?
Watch his reaction.
Really? Well, that's an interesting one. Interesting one right there. Okay. Then here's what I'll do. They may not be streamed or streamed with verbal or digital commentary on any platform or social media site other than the embeddable YouTube player via the CNN YouTube channel. Okay. We will broadcast the embeddable YouTube player on our show to provide commentary, and I hope that satisfies their rules.
I mean, okay, so we're still trying to break this down, right? So you heard what he said. Now this was left off in the discussion of it last night on Joe's channel, and it's been left out of many of the discussions that are out there today. When people run out with the headlines, YouTube's gonna block presidential debate on behalf of CNN. And they got into this whole debate about, what's fair use, and then going on and on and on. But nobody mentioned this part. This was the important part. Let's continue.
Not that the rules apply. Fair use stands. You will not stop us from calling out the two most powerful, potentially most powerful, the sitting president and the man who was and may become president again. Laughably absurd.
This is also a historic debate because it's the first time that they've ever had a debate between someone who was president and someone who is president, and both running again. So it's a unique debate in a lot of ways. I mean, I don't know if it's more a discussion than a debate. I don't know how they're going to do it right now. It seems like it's going to be so far away from what we consider a debate that it's hard to call it that. Let's continue.
Podcast use. Similar to broadcast rules, news organizations may use audio clips up to 3 minutes at a time on their shows after the debate conclude, and must credit the CNN presidential debate verbally in introducing the clip. Well, considering they said we are this is really fascinating. They got to hire better lawyers. Check this out. CNN's debates are exclusive to CNN and may not be streamed or streamed with verbal or digital commentary on any platform or social media site by any other party other than the embeddable YouTube player via the CNN YouTube channel.
Really? Now, what does that mean? How do you guys interpret that? Are they saying that only they can do it from their channel? Or are they saying that you can only do it from their channel? It's weird wording, isn't it? It's weird wording. And are they talking about their actual, because they are a cable news network. They are originally and for the most part a cable news network. So they talk about streaming it from their cable news service, but you can't stream it from there, but you can stream it from the YouTube channel. I mean, I guess it gives them the views, right? It gives them the views they're after, because if they're worried about not getting the views, which really is what it is, right? I mean, at least part of it is the fact that they don't want their thunder stolen, right? And they want to be able to get the views and the clicks and the money off of it, like anybody who's running a business. Is it establishment? The whole thing is set up to favor the establishment and the establishment candidate Joe Biden. And we know that. We can just tell by the rule set, the mutable mics, the lack of an audience. The entire format is set up to help bumbling Joe Biden, bad touch Biden, try to stand up against a much sharper and much better candidate in Donald Trump. So that's what it is. But are they trying to say that you can stream it from their channel, but you can't stream it from their cable news network? It's the same thing, but it seems like a way to get people to give them the views, right? What do you guys think out there in the chat? Let me go ahead and play some more of this.
So it sounds like what they're saying is,
let's see,
they don't want us to plug in to their feed, but if we stream with verbal commentary using their embeddable YouTube player via CNN's YouTube channel, we're good. Let me break this down for you. I don't know what their intention was specifically with this paragraph here. CNN's debates are exclusive to CNN. And here's the problem they're getting into. This is murky. This is murky language, which is meaningless. But I believe that CNN actually has publicly stated that they are giving the ability to stream. First, highlighting the statement they sent me, confirming that we are offering digital platforms the ability to stream the debate only via CNN YouTube. We are not granting digital entities the right to stream the debate on their own YouTube channels. Okay. Well, we're not going to be rebroadcasting it. We're going to be doing a commentary show, and we will be using the CNN YouTube for that commentary show. So I think we're good. They're offering digital platforms the ability to stream the debate only via the CNN YouTube. Makes sense. So we will stream the debate on our show using their YouTube. Should be good. And then they go on to say this. Now, this is where it's really important. They say that you may not stream or stream with verbal or digital commentary on any platform other than the embeddable YouTube player via the CNN YouTube channel. I think what they're saying is they don't want us to live stream from TV, which we would not do.
Right.
I got to be honest, like, actually, that may actually be it. And this all may be a big overreaction, I suppose. Misinterpretation. Perhaps I misinterpreted. And what they were really saying was, don't stream from the cable network because the cable networks have rights, but you can stream from the CNN YouTube channel. The reason I believe that this language here will allow us to actually do it, and they're not going to take us down or anything, is because they said with verbal or digital commentary. Well, how would you stream the CNN YouTube? How would you stream with commentary using the embeddable YouTube player on CNN unless that's you rebroadcast from their embeddable player with commentary? So I think we're good. I think we're going to be okay. But we are going to be on every major platform. I want to give a shout out to Elon Musk for saying DMCA doesn't apply to presidential debates. And I want to give a shout out to Rumble as well. Many people are saying, why didn't you ask Chris Pavlovsky of Rumble? And I'm like, well, I already know his answer. Of course he's going to respect fair use in this regard. I don't think there's any question there. I will say this. In all seriousness, it very much does seem CNN is threatening to take anybody down. That being said, the language they've provided is actually confusing, and maybe I'm incorrect. But I've also heard from other people something similar. Considering the language they've publicly stated, and I will stress this again. Hope CNN hears it. CNN. Let's remove the first portion, and just because these are separate clauses. CNN debates may not be streamed with verbal or digital commentary other than the embeddable YouTube player via the CNN YouTube channel. How would I provide verbal or digital commentary unless I were to take their embeddable player and then
stream it,
broadcast Timcast IRL with our commentary over it?
Unless we're talking about their own commentary. I don't know.
So maybe we were wrong. Looks like we're good. Thanks for the clarification, CNN. And yeah, next segment's coming up at 1.
There you go. So you see at the very end, you walked it back, right? That's what happens with that. That's what happens when you don't view the whole thing. I've been guilty of it too. Like I've made bad calls just by going a little too quickly. And, that's another thing. And then when I've come back, I spoke to it, I corrected it, and I learned from it. Right. And I'm no doubt I'll probably make the mistake again, and so will others. But just understanding what your driving intention is behind information and what your content you're creating. If you really care about this kind of stuff, the truth, the real truth, right? The factual truth, the logical truth, and you make a mistake, you should have no problem coming back and saying something about it. Just like Tim did at the end. Okay, well, hey, maybe we had it wrong. Thanks for the update. And this is in the same video with the same title. It says, network claims it will block presidential debate commentary. Right. So, within there, he starts at one end, which is what you saw on Joe's and other people's shows recently with discussing the matter. But by the end of it, he reads through everything and realizes, oh, okay, there's more to this. Now this is interesting. And we get into a whole nother realm of it. Right. I don't know. I say we go for it. I don't care what's going to happen. Right. What are they going to do? Are they going to shadow ban me? Are they going to keep people from coming here? They already drain my subs. They already don't suggest my videos, which is that's shadow banning. In a sense, right? But you don't get any suggested videos. You don't get put in with the other content that's out there. You don't add additional subs, and then they just drain off the subs you have, little by little, day by day. So that's the game they play with small creators like me. and others, and many others, and even Joe on his show. You know, the YouTube kept draining his subs off, right? I mean, he's just trying to catch up. He's trying to get to 99,000, right? Bless his heart. But he made it finally, and then they start draining off more subs. So that's the way they play that game, right? So what are they going to do? The worst they can do is say, we detected you're using someone else's, content. You're streaming someone else's content, and they'll take you down. They'll give you a chance to stop, and then whatever. And if that happens, we'll just jump to Rumble and X exclusively, almost immediately. So I'll have to warn that up front that we'll just jump immediately. But I mean, I don't think they're going to take the entire channel down for trying to stream what should be a fair use debate. So everybody else could be scared and have their penises tucked between their legs, but mine's going to be flying high. We're just going to do it, and we'll see what happens. You gotta push back against tyranny in whatever way, shape, or form you can. I'm not going to risk my channel. Well, I guess the people that are full time, it's their business, it's their income, everything depends on it. I get it. My channel isn't big enough or active enough to be that for me. So I'll do it. We'll see. And what's going to happen is we just immediately cut over to Rumble and X, where the debates and the everything will be continuously running with no interruptions. So the Rumble, if you're streaming, if you're coming here, just open both up and kind of like have one muted, and you could be here on YouTube where the chat's more active generally, and then you can jump back over. And if for some reason the stream gets taken down, just go straight to Rumble. Right? We'll just go ahead and make that plan now. We'll get it. The Memento Mori, I get unsub from channels sometimes. I really don't know why. Yeah, I know. It's like if you fall into a certain, I don't know. I think they do it to everybody. I think it's just some kind of running data hygiene program, and but behind the scenes, I could explain to you guys how it all works technically, and how I would design something like this, but it would take up so much of the show. I can't get into it. But I mean, so many people make big giant ass assumptions about the algorithm, especially big mouths around the scene, right? And they think they got it all figured out, but they really are they're making a fool out of themselves when they talk about it. They don't really know it. Let me show you guys an experiment real quick. All right. This is what I want you to do later on after the show. All right. Go pick a topic that something maybe off the mark. Like we're gonna watch The Boys tonight, right? So you don't know much about that show. Say you want to go learn a little bit more about it after our show tonight, right? So go and look it up. Okay. Click on about 3 different videos from 3 different creators, 2, 3, right? From 3 different creators who put out analysis on the show. Okay. You don't have to watch the videos. Just click on them. Right. And then go back to your home screen and hit refresh and look at how many new suggestions you have for The Boys. All right. Now, what I want you to do after that is I want you to go into your watch history and delete every single one of those videos and the search term that you used to look it up. Okay. I want you to delete those. Then I want you to go back to your homepage and refresh and tell me what happens. What you're going to see is all The Boys stuff disappears. That's your algorithm. That's how it works. It's all about watch history, and it's all about what you're currently watching. And when I give you more of that, so you keep watching it. That's it. All this bullshit about being associated with other channels and other people and their topics and their content. That's ass. That's ass talking. That's an ass talking to you, right? That's what it is. That's someone who doesn't know shit, who thinks they're smart, trying to tell you how something works to influence how you see it. Maybe intentionally, maybe not. But either way, it's ignorant, and so don't listen to them. All right, let's get on to our second topic here tonight. And as far as like I said, as far as the debate goes, we're gonna rock out with our clocks out. All right, here we go. So the SCOTUS decision. I got a couple of different things on that. We're going to do about another 30 minutes here on YouTube, and then we'll jump to Rumble and exclusively for the analysis on the boys. And boy, when I tell you how they how they really frame us, how they get into other people's heads about listening to anybody outside of the, that isn't buying into the establishment agenda and narrative. You probably didn't imagine it was this bad. Maybe you did. Maybe some of you who have seen the show understand it, or you've seen things like it on other shows, but you're going to be amazed. If you have it, you will be amazed. Now, SCOTUS today, the Supreme Court allows the White House to request removal of misinformation on social media, right? That passed somehow, right? That passed somehow. And so the question immediately comes to surface is who's deciding what misinformation is, right? A lot of great points were made because this came up under a COVID, whatever, a case, right? It came up under that case. I guess YouTube is still okay. I mean, they're okay with people talking about this. I see people talking about COVID all the time. I think I'm probably just being a little the quartering paranoid on this still. Like, you know what I'm talking about when I say the quartering paranoid? Like, the guy is so paranoid about everything he says, he won't even say the word rumble on his fucking stream. It's ridiculous, right? It's like, oh, the big mean platform. It's come on, dude. I laugh every time I hear it. I'm like, every time you say big green platform, I'm gonna put rumble in your comments and give you a thumbs down. Right? Not because I don't like you, just because you have to be trained not to do that dumb shit. It's just stupid, right? So, anyways, I'm gonna pull up a couple of different sources. Now, we're gonna look at some tonight's just look at establishment sources tonight, right? So we're gonna be doing a live analysis on establishment sources, and that's what a lot of other creators and a lot of the media, new media people kind of do. I'm a new media analyst. Let's put it that way. But I'm, I wouldn't call myself a new media journalist, but I would call myself a new media analyst at best. So the Supreme Court allows White House to request removal of misinformation on social media. A headline that leaves a lot to the imagination, yet it's the point. I was thinking I would play this 3-minute listen and react to it. So it's only 3 minutes. Let's do it.
The Supreme Court says the United States government can, after all, talk to social media companies and ask them to take.
Oh, and by the way, I want to point out this is coming from NPR, right? So we all know what NPR is. So we're gonna listen to how they inject their worldview on in this, if there is any. If it's straight up, we're gonna give them a chance to do it right. We're gonna listen in carefully. But we will, of course, fill in the gaps and correct any mistakes that are made.
Take down offensive content. The court heard a case by people who allege the government pressured companies to censor themselves, which would be a violation of free speech, while the government says all they did was have a conversation. In a 6-3 vote, the court ruled the plaintiffs had no standing to sue, so the case goes away and effectively the government wins. NPR legal affairs correspondent Nina Totenberg is in our studios. Nina, good morning.
Good morning, Steve.
Always good to see you. How did this ruling go?
Well, Justice Amy Coney Barrett, a Trump appointee, wrote the decision, and she said that the lower court, the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, had found erroneous facts. In a rather ladylike way, she dismembered the Fifth Circuit's reasoning from A to Z. She said that the Fifth Circuit also erred by treating the government and the platforms each as a unified whole, and that the plaintiffs had to demonstrate standing for each claim they press against each official who allegedly did anything bad to them. And this requires a certain threshold to show, namely, that a particular defendant, the defendant here is the official, pressured the particular platform to censor a particular topic before that platform suppressed a particular plaintiff's speech. It's a lot of particular this and particular that. But the bottom line here is that she said much of the evidence is wrong.
And so we have a justice from the liberal wing, but with some conservatives going along.
Conservative wing.
Excuse me. Amy
Exactly,
Coney, forgive me,
Memento.
from the
Exactly.
conservative wing, leading the way and taking apart a very conservative court's ruling on this issue that's been of great concern to conservatives in the past. They have argued that they were censored by social media companies and argued here that the government led the way in doing that. The court says we're going to kick this aside and we're not going to rule on the substance and we're going to leave things stand as they are. What did the dissenters have to say about all of this?
The three dissenters were Justices Samuel Alito, Neil Gorsuch, and Clarence Thomas. And they said, Alito wrote, the court permits the successful campaign of coercion in this case to stand as an attractive model for future officials who want to control what the people say, hear, and think.
Boom. That's a very base take right there. That is like completely what we're worried about, right? And what they seem to not be worried about is what happens when we get power. They got, well, I guess we'll find out.
But, you know, this was a pretty clear statement of how hard it's going to be to bring a lawsuit against the government. I mean, one of the things that Amy Coney Barrett cited was the attempt, and she agreed it was an aggressive attempt to get one of the companies, Twitter, to take down a fake
information. Yeah, go on.
A fake entry that looked like it was Biden's daughter.
Oh,
and that was false. It wasn't Biden's daughter, and they took it down subsequently. And I remember reading the record, and the guy was very mad. He said, "This is not Biden's daughter. Just get rid of it." And they did, but you know what? It was a fake entry. That's the whole purpose of content moderation.
Exactly. And so this gets down to the question. We have two conservative justices, one saying that the case was not proved, the other talking about government coercion. And for now, things stay as they are. Nina, thanks so much.
Thank you. And I just looked at the opinion. It was Biden's granddaughter.
There we go. Thank you.
Yeah, but when his daughter put out the diary, they wanted to call that disinformation, didn't they? Misinformation. Let's read this article. We got the gist of it right there. This is totally hard for you guys to read, isn't it? All right, there we go. The U.S. Supreme Court handed a major victory to the Biden administration Wednesday. See how they're calling that a major victory for him? Right? Throwing out the lower court ruling that had placed major restrictions on the ability of the government officials to communicate with social media companies about their content moderation policies. Yeah, yet we all know that the FBI or whatever was talking to Facebook directly because the Facebook came out and told us that during the lockdowns or prior to and during the lockdowns, right? So they were already doing it. So what do you mean? The lower court ruling had put restrictions on that, and now those restrictions were lifted. So that's a way to put it in context. While the court's ruling was procedural, that's where I need a lawyer to understand. Is it just procedural? It's not a law. It's what is it? How does that work? That's where being a lawyer helps. It was nonetheless a stark repudiation of two lower courts in the South. Yeah, the South. And their eagerness to embrace conspiracy theories about alleged government coercion in the social media company. You see what they did there? Did that now? Right. Who said it earlier? I listen to NPR sometimes just to see if I can identify the bias in the stories. That's great practice, by the way, guys. Right? To get better at doing media analysis is to listen to people who is to do analysis on, not listen to, do analysis on sites and outlets and individuals who are known to do such things. And so real account. Hold on. Let me just get to this. I just combined a word and a thought that I had to see. Completely ignore the fact that social media platform is a platform, not publishers. Well, yeah, there's back to that debate, right? A fake account's supposed to be, yeah, that's right. Told you. All right. So basically, he said the government can ask a story to be taken down, but the organization doesn't have to comply. Well, I mean, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? I hope so. I hope that's all it is. That is a completely different issue than the article led with. Yeah. They'll do that. They called the existence of the Hunter laptop misinformation and had all platforms suppress it. So, yeah, so they've already been doing this. So it basically just unties the hands that were tied by the lower court rulings, which makes you wonder, like, about the Supreme Court. They could do some things right, and some things they're going to get wrong. I guess they could revisit this. And can they revisit it? SCOTUS said the lawsuit failed because they couldn't find proof of government requesting removal of accounts and posts. That's interesting. Like, how could they not find proof of that when it seems to be? I mean, did they call Elon? Didn't, if anybody can find it, didn't Zuckerberg get on TV or come out with some article come out that admitted that the FBI was consulting with or working with Facebook during the lockdowns? That's like Barrett, Kavanaugh, and Roberts themselves tell themselves to justify it. Well, they don't have to. Right. Well, whatever gives the censorship power. That's the bottom line here, right? It's giving censorship power. At the same times, when do they use it to actually take down real disinformation? Like, why do I see 10,000 chemtrail videos a day on X? I mean, that's complete disinformation. We community note the hell out of it, but yet they still they're still allowed to exist, right? I mean, because sometimes you need to have bad examples out there, so people, and that's what we're going to see tonight. Like, we're going to see how well, and then some really you don't. Like, I'm kind of like in the middle here, in a sense that them being out there paints a perspective. It enables more censorship, really, is what it does. It's really enabled this type of thing to happen right here, right? Well, look at all the chemtrails. They'll point the chemtrail videos, but then they'll take down shit that's important or shit that isn't, disinformation that they don't want up there, right? But then they're gonna clump us in with chemtrails and flat Earth and all the other lost in the abyss, jump the shark conspiracy grifts that are out there, right? We're just trying to get our country back. We're just trying to expose corruption. And corruption does exist. Conspiracies do exist. All these things do exist. But when you jump the shark into the abyss mode of thinking, the fearful mindset of the abyss dweller, right? Then you're lumped in with these guys because we're all against the establishment, whether we are agreeing on why or not. So you get clumped together, and that's what we're going to see tonight when we go over to Rumble and X as I do media analysis on the boys. Because boy, did they just give me. I'm telling you, when you see this, you're going to be like, dang. I mean, I can't build it up enough for you. You need to be there for this. Whatever, no matter what you're doing tonight, just watch this show, because I'm going to show you some things, and you're going to be like, wow, that's how they're all that's how they do this, right? And it's just an entertainment, and it's just one show. But we'll get to that in a minute. Anyways, so yeah, so there you go. So their eagerness to embrace I want you guys to remember that for later on tonight, right? About alleged government. Yeah, we know there's government coercion. It's like there's no conspiracy theory about it, right? It actually happens, and it actually gets admitted to. And there's stop trying to gaslight us with this word conspiracy theory when it's already a fact that's out there. Writing for the liberal conservative coalition. That sounds like the establishment of six such. I guess. Oh, okay. So they're describing them as that, right? It's funny how people can get labeled one or two ways on the Supreme Court. You're either this or that. Really? Justice Amy Coney Barrett said that neither the 5 individuals nor the 2 states who sued the government had legal standing. Always when they want to get out of something, it's about the standing. No standing for 2020. No standing for this. No standing for that. No standing for this. No standing for that. Like they want everybody sitting down, evidently. But this is their way out. This is every time. No standing. No standing. No standing. What good are you guys? What good are you guys? He said that they present no proof or backup to their claims that the government had pressured social media companies like Twitter and Facebook to restrict their speech. Unfortunately, she said the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals relied on factual findings that are clearly erroneous. What does that mean? I don't know. That's again, I need a lawyer or someone who knows the case better. Let me read you guys so I don't get too far behind. Where are you at? Where are you at? Okay, granddaughter, fake. Told you so. Basically, the government can ask us where we take down, but the organ. Okay, we'll hope so. That's okay. So now I'm caught up. Let's see. They called. Yep. Okay. SCOTUS. So the lawsuit. Okay. Yep. Yep. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to catch up here. They failed to disclose that the request didn't need to be made since the alphabet agencies had agents working within the platform, taking down accounts and post as needed. Well, there you go. Devil's in the details. Despite the implicit coercion of the state power, similarly, how do we have a national drinking age of 21? Department of Transportation funding was removed from states that didn't comply. SCOTUS dropped the ball in that case too. Yeah, that's a state decision. It is a state decision. It is, as to how they handled their Bureau of Alcohol Control, or they call it the Alcohol Bureau of Control, ABC, and the places that I'm from. Other people have different names for it, I guess. Let's see, he testified to it in a congressional hearing. Okay, so that's where he testified to it, right? Okay, so we just forgot about that. Yeah, that's the one that everybody's putting out there. That PDF right there is the case if you want to read it in detail. I am not a lawyer. This is not legal advice or aviation advice either. Let's see. Of course, why would it? Why would it be? The views expressed herein are offered for entertainment and information and discussion purposes only. All statements are general in nature. Nothing said here is legal or medical advice. Yeah, exactly. Or aviation advice, because I don't fly. See, I don't know how to fly a plane yet. I have flown a plane though. Isn't that weird? I don't know how to fly a plane, but I've flown a plane. It isn't coercion, it's collusion. Yes. Collusion to coerce. I had a feeling from the fucking jump she would be a bad pick. Turns out I've been consistently correct. Consistently correct. Ladies and gentlemen, it's so good to see Jacob Pizza again. He hadn't been here in a minute. He's been busy. He's been doing things. Let's play his in.
Darling, if you don't want to hear how the waters parted, then don't get me started.
There you go. You misunderstand. Winning the legal drinking age of 21 was instituted by federal coercion of the states. The federal government withheld DOT funding from the states that did not comply. No, I understood. I understood exactly what you said. You misunderstood, Jacob. No, I understood exactly what you said, bud. I did. All right, let's finish this thing. Where was I at? Okay, I stopped here. Okay, for instance, she said the plaintiff who brought the case maintained that the White House had bombarded Twitter with requests to set up a streamlined process for censorship requests. But in fact, she said, the record showed no such requests. Really? There's no record of this? Rather, on one occasion, the record showed, that doesn't mean there's not evidence of it. It means they didn't submit evidence of it. Rather, on one occasion, a White House official asked Twitter to remove a okay, so that's, now they're cherry picking, right? That's a cherry pick right there. Oh, it's by God, not the granddaughter. No, not the little God. She's so innocent. You know? Oh, no, that's a good reason. Look what they're doing. Look what they're doing. Yeah, they're cherry picked, man. Twitter took down the fake account. Yeah, okay. Barrett said, went out of her way to stress the fact facts matter. Yeah, the facts do matter, but who decides which facts matter and when? And that lower courts, in this case, embraced a fact-free version of what transpired between officials in the Biden administration and Facebook, Twitter, and other social media companies. Stop. I get it. This is the problem with law and lawyers and all that shit. They get all nuanced in the little technicalities and they forget the big picture about things. Over and over again, but it's just about this. It's this one thing, right? And they forget the big picture. It didn't matter if it's the Biden administration. It doesn't matter which administration it is. It matters who and when. And this has been going on for decades since social media came about. You know, Alex Jones was deplatformed during the Obama years, wasn't he? Right? Okay. Any coercion going on there? Any collusion? Any coordination? Any conspiracy going on there? Anything? Wow, it just all magically happened at the same time, huh? And that was from the law professor Barrett, Paul Barrett. No relation to the justice, who was deputy director of Stern Center for Business and Human Rights at NYU. Oh, that's probably a straight up organization with no affiliations or agendas. In her opinion, for the court majority, Justice Barrett said that at every turn, the alleged facts turned to dust, and that the plaintiff had failed to trace past or potential future harm to anything done by officials at White House, CDC, FBI. Oh my God. Okay. So now I know I'm going to follow this up. Or key cybersecurity agencies. Well, who's that? You talking about Boozy? Indeed, the court said just make the actions taken by the social media platform to modify content about COVID vaccines or other matters. I'm reading this off NPR, YouTube. Don't give me a hard time. Were taken before any contacts with government officials took place. Okay, so here's the other thing, right? That we talk about. We know that the private the subversion of private industry, right, is done through the WEF and what they're pushing out through there, right? So we talked about that. We're reading a book called Woke Inc. by Vivek Ramaswamy, which talks about the inner workings of corporations and how they adopt these social virtues for profit, right? And that it's all a big scam on their end. So the fact that they're taking sides against things, or they're siding with the establishment that supports the WEF and the UN, no surprises, right? Well, therein lies the association conspiracy, right? Where you're all working on the same premise and ideas, you're all connected and are aligned in your objectives, and then that in itself, the agenda is, without having to coordinate, you guys are all involved in the same type of agenda / conspiracy, right? It works that way. You don't have to have a big freaking meeting in a pyramid with fucking people in robes to decide things to make it a conspiracy or some shit. Again, back to the narrative about what a conspiracy and conspiracy theories are and so on. We know conspiracies are just two or more people planning to do something. That's the baseline definition of it. Doesn't have to be government, doesn't have to be anything else, right? Just the word itself means something. Then they take it and they add stuff to it, they manipulate it, and they rebuild the archetype of what a conspiracy means in people's minds. As again, we're about to go look at in just a few minutes here. All right, let me read some more. Okay, yes, 6 days and my stress level maybe getting back to something relatively normal. Okay. Our closing. Okay, we're talking about closings. We're talking about other things here. Thank you for the warm welcomes that I can come around in this. Welcomes when I come around this busy time. Apologies for the misinterpreted. No worries, Jacob. No worries, buddy. Okay, so cortisol. Okay, so we got some good old fashioned communing going on in the chat. So there we go. Good. Which is what we're here for. Because right here, right now, you can hang out with base people who aren't off the deep end, living in the abyss, and who aren't beholden to the establishment narrative and the evil in this world. Right? This is what I'm talking about. Maybe this is what the whole purpose of this thing that we're doing in the first place was, before I even realized it. It's a solution culture crowd, right? Is beyond both narratives, right? It's not that we don't realize there's truth and facts amongst out there and amongst everything out there. It's that what people do with it matters. If you use it to manipulate people, it matters, right? If you use it to become what you fight, it matters. And then we don't want to participate in that. We don't want to be part of that because we're looking for a better future, not a repeat. I was talking again, the pendulum, man. It's like I was talking with Shelly about how, when things became too fundamentalist and too restrictive and too sterile in this world, the pendulum swung back to the other side and it became demoralized and degenerate and destruction of beauty and wholesomeness and humanity and the the elimination of care for innocence and just black goodness, right? That was a response to too harsh fundamentalist approach when it comes to morality. Neither side can dictate morality in the end, and they will all lose. And when they do, but they may be trending for a while. They may be on top for a while, right? Like we're experiencing right now with the other side. So we're in this Babylon state, if you will, as a result of this pendulum swinging back and forth from like, the very, Bible thumping music, just no fun having fundamentalist approach to the world, to a complete rejection of it. Right. So, we have to figure out how to keep that pendulum swing to a minimum. Right. And then we don't get the worst of the worst on each side. Right. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. We can be moral and still have fun. We can, we don't have to be completely fundamentalist out of our minds to be right. We don't have to be completely degenerate and think that the life has no meaning and life has no purpose and life has nothing to reject it. We have to find a medium, and that we can't do that when the loudest mouths on either side are those that are pushing us towards the extremes, right? Best way I can put that. Same to you, buddy. All right, cool. I have never liked that court ruling are based on court rulings of past cases instead of Constitution. Right. Well, from what happened to the Constitution, why are we going off of something else like this? I guess it's their job, though. Someone will correct me on this, I'm sure, that it's their job to be the supreme law of the land, or decider of what is constitutionality and what isn't. I guess wrapped into what they're doing is supposed to be the constitutionality of other cases. But I do, we do have to say, well, this isn't constitutional, throw it out. Like that's what they're supposed to be able to do. And so maybe someone brings a better case, right? With evidence this time, or at least, evidence on the record, this is going on. And then the Supreme Court will have to readdress this decision. So I don't think it's the end of the world, but I don't think it's I don't think it's a functioning decision. I think it's going to cause a lot of problems, and just hold on tight. And one of them is this. Present this. This is just, I want to give all sides as best I can. I'm not going to go into the Politico one, but I'm going to go into the where's she at? Where is she at? There you go. Rep. Margie Taylor Greene. Brief statement. Well, that's too small to read, isn't it? And that's probably too small to read too. Well, what are you going to do? Can I do this? Yes, I can. All right, there we go. All right, so Margie Taylor Greene says, only Thomas Alito and Gorsuch stood for free speech today. The rest of the SCOTUS decided social media companies can restrict your speech. The government, they already can, by the way. The government is allowed to coerce them into doing it. I guess in a manner of speaking, that's true. And you have no rights to challenge it. That's pretty much in there too, right? But she says, as for COVID, millions of people die because of social media censorship and the U.S. government's mandates, mass shut down, while lying that treatments like ivermectin and other natural immunities were dangerous, right? So yes, right in front of us, there's a conspiracy right there. I mean, the whole thing right there was a conspiracy, wasn't it? Wasn't based in any kind of truth, and it wasn't. It was agenda driven to sell these and make you do this and hurt the economy like that, right? And keep you away from things that were actually working, right? To keep you away from that. So that that's the high level pushback down from Margie Taylor Greene. And I guess you consider Freedom Caucus or whatever they're calling it these days, Tea Party back in the day, whatever. But anyways, yeah, there's the pushback on it, and she makes a great point. How many times have they put out disinformation, and who's going to pull down their disinformation? Nah, it's not a good. This is not a good thing. No matter what little technicality they wiggled through it with. I hope some very smart lawyer out there, or lawmaker or politician, sees how to unrig this game. right here and goes about and takes the responsibility to do it. Right? Bring a better case with that with evidence that Supreme Court justice can't deny. Right? They picked the weak ones. The establishment played this well, and they used our own laws and our own system against us to get their way. However, they're allowing it on our end too. So when we're the ones in power, as long as we have a non-corrupt entity in these positions that will make these decisions, we can very well take down their disinformation as it comes, and they have tons of it. So you know, at some point, what do? We're fighting it. We're fighting an information war. We're fighting a war for hearts and minds. And as we're going to go see here in just a second, because we're at the hour mark here, we're going to see how deep the disinformation goes. Do you get into entertainment? Entertainment's influencing people. You know, there's a lot of well, it's just entertainment. It's parody. Yeah. But we all know people buy into that shit, and we all know that they see it enough in entertainment. They start to believe it's a representation of society itself. That's the whole you know, alphabet mafia mind control hoax, right? To convince people by having these grandiose months of adornment, right? By people putting their occupation flag all over their logos and all over their this and that, and having a bunch of straight people support it because it's the virtuous thing to do, and so on and so forth, to make people believe that there's more of them than there really are. Still to this day, only 10% of Americans polled will claim to be anything but straight, right? And out of that 10%, you have the little 1% in there that claim to have some kind of dysphoria, right? And are either taking half actions or full actions to supposedly deal with that. Now, we all know transposers are real, and they're out there, and they're using this rainbow umbrella as cover to do the worst things imaginable to kids. Not a conspiracy theory, because the opportunity is there. And it's not necessarily the people in the alphabet mafia's fault, other than they don't police their own, and they don't have any system for dealing with people who are opposing, just to get the benefits of the umbrella of protection they now currently have. Hopefully, it will not last, and that whole organization will disband, realizing that it's the organization itself that enables it, and that they have no way to govern it. And so the only reasonable thing to do is a brand split. Like I said, I've been saying it for years. Brand split. Brand split is the decision. And when the people that are based in that society, that little subculture, is all it is, figure it out, they'll probably do something about it, like split off. Like they should. Like, I don't see why the L's are hanging out with the T's at all. At all. And I don't think they even know either. Well, that'll probably be the first one to go. All right. So what you got there? Before we jump over to Rumble, one last chance here on YouTube. Make sure you guys hit the thumbs up button and make sure you're subscribed and hit the bell. They are also just have incompetent buffoons who create new words and phrases that the robots and the left adopt. Yep, exactly. And so do the people on the right. If I hear one more person on the right or outside the establishment, right? And that's, to me, you know, I hear left, right, I'm just like, whatever. It's establishment, anti-establishment. But you know, if I hear one more anti-establishment, quote unquote anti-establishment media source, right? Say cisgender, man. You know, that's an automatic thumbs down for me. You don't use that word. That word does not exist. It's not a label. It's not going to stick, and we're going to allow it to stick any way, shape, or form. Push back on that word every time you hear it. Make the person who says it feel stupid, right? Run over them. That's all I can tell you. That's the only way to fight language problems is to make using the language unpopular. And just take the N-word, for example. All right. So idiots think JP Sears satire is factual. No, JP Sears is not. He's got some conspiracy grifting to get over, but he's definitely a cool, funny base dude in general. He wants the right things to happen. He'll figure it out along the way. He'll figure it out. He's going, even people like that who become really popular really fast and get a platform and are doing that. They're all in their journeys too. Viva was on his journey long before he left Canada and was just doing vlogs about court cases and stuff. He was on his journey there. I mean, if you want to watch the evolution of somebody who was on the journey, just watch Viva, like from beginning to end. You'll see his transformation happen because he could not and would not settle for anything less than the truth. That's what differentiates him. He didn't care about the clicks and the views and the stuff like that. Now he wanted to keep his channel on the air, but he didn't care about that. He cared about the truth. And he didn't care if he pissed people off in Canada or he lost friends or if the government came after him or whatever. He had to, run out of Canada in the middle of the night with his family and travel across. You can watch Viva Fry's Permanent Vacation for the gritty details of this heroic trip from Canada to America to become America's first Canadian political refugee. Yeah, that's right. Most of that's true. All right. So, and you guys all know when I slide the parody myself. So, but yeah, go check out Viva Fry's Permanent Vacation. It's as Viva Fry said himself, it is a classic, an instant classic, cannot be beat. And it is the best documentary to date out there about Viva Fry. The best one. All right, playing with words here. I feel gross using that word because it's just another one popularized by administrations to push an agenda. Why can't we just call it lying or being wrong? Yes, do it. Call it lying and being wrong. SCOTUS is holding off ruling on transgender treatment for use until fall, right before the election. They also haven't ruled on Trump's immunity yet. Yeah. Well, we're going to keep a close eye on everything they're up to. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to head over to Rumble to get into the juicy good stuff for this evening. The establishment, perception management tactics. Guys, it's going to be so in your face. It's not even funny. Plus, this is a very entertaining show, despite being having woke tendencies and strong establishment, social engineering embedded in it. If you like gritty kind of like, TVMA, superhero-ish stuff, kind of stuff where the superheroes are all gray, no black and whites really. There's a couple that are, but even the good ones are not good. And the framing in this, well, wait till you see it. Let's just go do this thing, guys. Thank you for coming to the YouTube kickoff show today. We're still going to be streaming on Rumble and X for the rest of the show. You need to go there to catch the rest of what we're going to do tonight. And at the end of this, too, we're going to talk about the cheap faking and how that's really, really starting to backfire. Like, I've been talking about it a lot lately. Now I'm going to get into it and show you guys some stuff. Jacob Peets is already on Rumble waiting for you guys. I know Shelly is already over there. Jacob Castro will probably be sliding in. Slide is here any moment. And everybody, please use the links in the chat or in the description to follow us over to Rumble. Let's go do this. Thank you guys so much for being here for the YouTube Kickoff Show. YouTube, we'll see you next time. And away we go.
Man, everyone's tensed up for a Rumble.